Baby, my ride or die days are over. Hang it up. Every time it was supposed to be ride or die, then die. Every time it was ride or die, die. Every time I die, it was never ride, it was just die.
So I don't know if any other moms have experienced this while they're pregnant. It happens not with Nova, but with Nala it happens. It's this. You guys, I need your help. Please, please, please. My son has cradle cap, and I've never dealt with that with any of my daughters, but he has it, and I thought it would just like go away on its own, and it's not going anywhere.
She wasn't just another face in the entertainment world. She was a woman whose name carried weight in television, business, and culture. Known for her radiant smile, quick wit, and powerful presence, she built an empire that stretched from comedy stages to beauty counters. Yet behind all the fame and the glamorous public life, there was a story few could have imagined. A single decision, one made with hopes of improvement and self-confidence, set off a tragic chain of events that ended a life far too soon. How does a woman with so much success...
Man, I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody told me, no, you're fine how you are. You're perfect. Leave him alone. Don't do it. Don't do it. No, no, no. Anyway, everybody told me that, but it's my body. Guess what? My body. So I was like, no, I want to do it. Like, no. So
Guys, it is the day of my surgery. I haven't even talked to you guys about it because I had my J Noble Collection spring launch party. You're walking around in your underwear behind me, just so you know, if you don't care.
With adoring fans, a thriving brand, and 3 young children who needed her, end up gone in such a sudden and heartbreaking way. This isn't just a story of fame. It's a true crime mystery that raises uncomfortable questions about beauty standards, the cost of celebrity culture, and the silent pressures that could destroy even the brightest stars. What unfolded shocked not only her family, but an entire industry. Her story forces us to ask, what hidden battles do public figures face when the cameras turn off? Was this a tragic accident? Or is there a darker truth that remains unspoken? Initial whispers pointed toward foul play, with speculation of murder. But as more details emerged, the case became even more haunting. Less about an outside attack and more about the crushing demands and choices that come with life in the spotlight. Her sudden death shook millions, not just because of who she was, but because of the lingering questions about how everything spiraled so quickly. Welcome to True Crime's venue, where we uncover real stories that blend mystery, tragedy, and lessons hidden in plain sight. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, so you never miss our latest investigations. Tonight, we take you inside the life, legacy, and unanswered questions surrounding the death of Jacky Oh, born Jacqueline Smith on November 3rd, 1990, in Oakland, California. From her earliest days, Jacky embodied resilience. Raised in a multicultural home, her African-American father and Brazilian mother instilled in her both diversity and strength. Though she grew up surrounded by 2 worlds, she gravitated most toward her Black identity. Feeling a deep connection to her father's side of the family, Oakland shaped her outlook. A city buzzing with culture, but also marked by struggle. Even as a child, Jacky had something different: ambition, charisma, and a dream of breaking through. She wasn't content with ordinary. She wanted more. Her determination carried her to the University of California, Berkeley, a milestone that marked her commitment to education and self-growth. It was there that she first embraced a nickname that would later become her professional identity. A friend casually began calling her Jacky Oh, and from that moment on, the name stuck. College wasn't just about lectures and exams. It was where she tested her entrepreneurial spirit and began envisioning a future that would stretch far beyond academics. Her leap into stardom came with MTV's hit show Wild 'N Out, hosted by Nick Cannon. Jacky Oh quickly became one of the fan favorites, captivating audiences with her humor, beauty, and vibrant personality. To viewers, she was more than just a performer. She was magnetic, drawing attention in every scene and building a loyal fan base. But Jacky didn't limit herself to being on-screen talent. She understood the fleeting nature of fame and wanted to create something lasting. In 2019, she launched the J Nova collection, her own beauty brand specializing in lip glosses and makeup essentials. This wasn't just a vanity project. It was an extension of her mission to empower women. Jacky wanted every customer to feel confident and celebrated, to see themselves reflected in her products. The brand took off quickly, further cementing her reputation as not only an entertainer, but also a savvy entrepreneur. Yet, while she was building her empire, she was also building a family. On Wild 'N Out, she met comedian and rapper DC Young Fly, and their chemistry was undeniable. Over time, their connection blossomed into a relationship admired by fans everywhere. Together, they welcomed 3 children, daughters Nova and Nala, and their youngest son, Prince. To the outside world, they seemed like a picture-perfect family, balancing the spotlight with the intimacy of real life. Jacky's social media often showed her softer side, tender moments with her kids, candid laughs, and glimpses of a life filled with love. But as many true crime stories remind us, what we see on the surface rarely reveals the full truth. For Jacky, fame came with invisible chains. Behind the smiling photos and business milestones, she faced a heavy burden of being a woman constantly judged by impossible beauty standards.
Yo, I don't care if we stop talking, but stop.
Okay? That's crazy. You can't do that.
In entertainment, beauty wasn't just appreciated. It was demanded. And for Jacky, maintaining that image came with a dangerous cost. By June 2023, Jacky made a trip to Miami, what should have been routine turned catastrophic. Reports suggest she was pursuing a cosmetic procedure, one that countless women undergo every year, seeking either enhancement or restoration. But for Jacky, this decision became the breaking point. Instead of returning home to her children, she became the center of headlines announcing her sudden and shocking death.
Former cast member of Wild 'N Out reportedly died after a cosmetic procedure. Local 10 investigator Amy Viteri is live with what she's uncovered. Amy.
Well, Miami police tell us they are investigating the cause and circumstances related to Jacky Oh's death. Her real name is Jacqueline Smith. Miami police say it was late Wednesday night that they were called here to this hotel, and that is where they found Smith unresponsive inside.
An outpouring of sympathy on social media mourning the death of Jacqueline Smith, known as Miss Jacky Oh, and social media influencer with 1 million followers on Instagram. Smith was just 32 years old, a mother to 3 young children who she shared with longtime partner, Wild 'N Out star DC Young Fly. She had reportedly traveled to Miami for cosmetic surgery procedures, often referred to as a mommy makeover. According to a Miami police report, it was just before 10 o'clock Wednesday night when Miami Fire Rescue responded to this hotel on Southwest 1st Avenue near downtown Miami after getting a call about an unresponsive woman. Crews took her to Mercy Hospital, where despite trying to resuscitate her, she was pronounced dead. Police tell us they and the medical examiner's office are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death, and the case is in its preliminary stages.
What happened in those final hours? Why were there so many gaps in the story of her last days? And why did her decision, one that millions of women make without incident, end with such devastating results? This case rattled the true crime community because at first, whispers of homicide surfaced. Was this really just a complication, or was something more sinister involved? Friends and fans alike demanded answers, especially since the timeline surrounding her final moments in Miami remains filled with inconsistencies. Was it neglect, malpractice, or an unspoken pressure that pushed her toward a dangerous decision? Jacky Oh's story reflects a larger conversation in true crime and cultural discourse, the cost of perfection. For women in the public eye, appearance isn't just personal, it's professional currency. Every curve, every flaw, every detail is scrutinized. To survive, many feel forced to conform to an ideal that is often unattainable, and for Jacky, that pursuit became fatal. Her death exposes a raw truth about how beauty, fame, and societal pressure intersect in devastating ways. As investigators piece together the events, the questions multiplied. How could someone so full of life, so committed to her children and her business, meet such an end? Was it a simple medical mishap, or is there a deeper negligence hidden beneath the surface? Friends describe her as selfless, someone who often put others first, even if it meant sacrificing her own peace. Could that same selflessness have driven her to make choices that prioritized image over safety? For those who admired her, Jacky wasn't just another influencer or celebrity. She was a symbol of drive, resilience, and joy. Yet the tragedy of her untimely death left a shadow over her legacy. Her children, Nova, Nala, and Prince, will grow up carrying the weight of unanswered questions about what really happened to their mother in Miami. And the true crime community continues to search for answers, peeling back layers of her life in hopes of making sense of it all. But as we examine this heartbreaking case, one truth remains clear. The story of Jacky Oh is more than a personal tragedy. It's a cautionary tale about the dangerous expectations of beauty, the silent toll of fame, and the fragility of life when success collides with societal pressure. Jacky Oh's life was lived in the spotlight, but behind her radiant smile, she carried insecurities that many women quietly battle. In 2017, she spoke candidly about something rarely addressed in Hollywood, her struggle with body image after pregnancy. While raising her children brought immense joy, the physical changes her body endured left her feeling pressured to bounce back to perfection. In an interview, she admitted how overwhelming it was to face expectations from every angle. Fans, the media, even her own circle. "I'm just trying to feel like myself again," she confessed, exposing a vulnerability that resonated with mothers everywhere. For Jacky, the spotlight amplified everything. What ordinary women quietly experience in private, she endured in front of millions. The constant demand for perfection in the entertainment industry takes a brutal toll. For women in the public eye, beauty isn't just appearance. It's a brand, a currency, a ticket to continued relevance. Social media only heightens this, feeding endless comparisons, filters, and impossible ideals. And although Jacky exuded confidence, she too felt the weight of measuring up to society's unforgiving standards. Her openness about body image after childbirth revealed more than personal struggle. It exposed a larger crisis women face: the relentless expectation to be flawless, even at the cost of their own well-being. By sharing her truth, Jacky made herself relatable to countless women who quietly suffered under the same pressures. She gave voice to the silent battle so many wage daily against insecurities. Yet, what began as an honest conversation about body image slowly became a path toward more drastic choices. In the beauty-obsessed culture she navigated, cosmetic surgery was often framed as a solution, the quick fix to reclaim identity and confidence. For Jacky, the idea of regaining control over her body became more than a passing thought. It turned into a plan. Her decision to undergo a Brazilian butt lift, or BBL, was impulsive. It was rooted in years of feeling the pressure to maintain a certain look in an industry that judged harshly. At first glance, Jacky had it all: success, beauty, a loving family. But to her, aligning how she looked on the outside with how she felt inside meant everything. Like many women, she wanted to restore confidence in her body after motherhood. Despite her fame and accomplishments, she too was vulnerable to the societal obsession with curves and proportions. Jacky's choice to pursue the BBL reflected not only her personal journey, but also the global trend of cosmetic surgery fueled by social media. In a world dominated by filters and curated feeds, the BBL has risen as one of the most in-demand procedures. It promises an hourglass figure by transferring fat from one part of the body into the buttocks. But behind its glamour, the procedure carries deadly risks. Experts warn that the BBL has one of the highest fatality rates of all cosmetic surgeries, often due to fat embolisms when fat accidentally enters the bloodstream. These dangers made proper technique and experienced surgeons essential. Jacky, well aware of the risks, researched diligently and believed she had found a safe option. Still, she pressed forward, determined to take this leap. Her transparency about the surgery drew mixed reactions. Friends and fans admired her honesty, while others quietly worried about the risks. Jacky, however, was excited, nervous, but ready. She documented her anticipation on social media, letting followers into her personal decision. On May 30th, 2023, she entered a clinic in Miami to undergo the procedure that she hoped would give her the confidence she longed for. Initially, everything seemed to go as planned. The surgery was reportedly completed without complications. She was discharged with standard medications: Cipro, an antibiotic; oxycodone, a pain reliever; and ondansetron to prevent nausea. On paper, everything looked routine. But in the hours that followed, Jacky's story would take a devastating turn. She began experiencing a headache that lingered beyond what might be expected after surgery. Though she tried to dismiss it, by the next day, her discomfort grew. Concerned, she returned to the clinic for a follow-up. The surgeon recommended she stop taking ondansetron and switch to ibuprofen instead. At the time, it seemed like a minor adjustment, nothing out of the ordinary. But this would be the last time she spoke with medical professionals while conscious. By the evening of May 31st, Jacky's symptoms had worsened. The headache escalated into something far more severe, described by her as a burning sensation in her head. Her speech grew slurred, her ability to communicate her pain slipping away. Alarmed, her aunt, who had been caring for her post-surgery, realized this was no ordinary recovery issue. She quickly called for emergency assistance. But tragically, time ran out. Before paramedics could arrive, Jacky lost consciousness. Despite the desperate efforts that followed, she was pronounced dead at 11 p.m. Her death shook not only her family, but also her fans worldwide. A young mother of 3, a successful entrepreneur, and a beloved entertainer, gone in a matter of hours, all because of a decision made under the crushing weight of beauty standards and public expectation. The medications, the follow-up instructions, the chain of events, all remain crucial details in piecing together what happened in those final hours. Jacky Oh's tragic passing sheds light on more than just the risk of cosmetic surgery. It reveals a darker cost of societal pressures, the relentless demand for women, especially public figures, to look perfect no matter the price. Her story is both deeply personal and widely resonant, echoing the struggles of countless women who feel trapped between self-love and society's impossible ideals. The autopsy would later reveal swelling in her brain and extensive bleeding under her skin, a grim reminder of the risks associated with cosmetic procedures, even those marketed as routine. Could earlier intervention have saved her? Were there signs that went unnoticed, or was the outcome inevitable from the start? As we continue, we will explore the aftermath, how Jacky's death reverberated across her family, the entertainment industry, and the broader discussion around cosmetic surgery. What do you think about the rising popularity of high-risk cosmetic surgeries like BBLs? Do you believe stricter regulations could prevent tragedies like this? Share your thoughts below. When a vibrant life ends unexpectedly, the search for answers often leads to revelations that leave more questions than clarity. But in this case, did the findings truly explain what happened to Jacky Oh, or did they raise concerns no one saw coming? After Jacky's sudden passing, the Miami-Dade Medical Examiner's Office conducted an autopsy to uncover the cause. The findings were stark and heartbreaking. The official report noted that Jacky suffered significant brain swelling alongside widespread bleeding under her skin. The autopsy determined that the complications were a direct result of a fat transfer procedure, a stark reminder of the inherent risks of elective surgeries. The medical examiner ruled her death accidental, citing no evidence of malpractice or criminal negligence by her surgeon or the clinic.
Hey everyone, it's Dr. Zach. Yes, my name has been in the tabloid media and understandably sensationalized given the circumstances. I want to clarify certain facts that have not been reported and are public knowledge. As many of you know firsthand, my reputation in Miami for safety is exemplary. I am not willing to operate without exception on any patient if my preoperative protocols for medical clearance are not wholly met. That means another physician of the patient's choosing examines the patient and verifies that patient's fitness for surgery in conjunction with other tests and labs that I request. This is a standard protocol to ensure all aspects of a patient's health are medically considered. I've operated on 2,000 patients, which is roughly 6,000 hours in the operating room. Every procedure is always performed to the highest medical standard, and our safety protocols are diligently observed by my entire team. The state of Florida is especially strict when it comes to any issues involving medical treatment that may not have been performed to recognized standards, resulting in a poor patient outcome. This certainly applies to procedures like those I specialize in. This oversight results in immediate suspension of the provider's ability to perform the operation of concern. My medical license remains active and unrestricted, and I remain in good standing with the Florida Department of Health. With that being said, we are currently seeing patients in the office and performing surgery.
For some, this ruling closed the case, but for Jacky's family, friends, and fans, the question lingered. Could this tragedy have been avoided? In the wake of her death, her longtime partner and father to her 3 children, DC Youngfly, issued a heartfelt statement. At her memorial service, he delivered a eulogy that brought many to tears. Struggling to find words through his pain, he called Jacky a phenomenal woman and vowed to keep her memory alive through their children.
I sit here and tell you, anybody, man, if you're going through any and everybody, don't matter what's going on in life, just make sure the relationship is good. You dig what I'm saying? And if for those who know me, they know I got a great spirit. I be smiling and I give support and I try to uplift you in all type of ways, just because I feel good when other people feel good around me. So when I really be saying I be taking energy from people, I be dead serious. If you happy, I'm over there soaking up the energy. And if you bad, I'm going this way. And if you're a firm believer, then you know if God got, his hands on you, then you know we're going to be straight. And that's one thing I know, that we gonna be straight, Do we understand? No. No. But I don't lead by the flesh, I lead by the spirit. And sometimes life hits you with a curveball, but that's for anybody out here that's going through something, man. So, you got to stick it through, man. I don't really care for the applause. I just want you to get the message.
The weight of his loss was evident. For a man known for his humor and charisma, this moment showed a vulnerable side few had seen. The silence left behind after Jacky Oh's passing was deafening, especially for her 3 young children, Nova, Nala, and Prince, whose innocent lives are forever altered by a tragedy they could not yet fully understand. At her memorial service, her longtime partner, comedian and actor DC Youngfly, pours grief into words that resonated with raw love and pain. Struggling through tears, he described her not just as a companion, but as a foundation of their family. You are my rock, my partner, and the mother of our beautiful children. Your light will never fade in our hearts. His voice trembled, his sorrow undeniable. Fans who witnessed his tribute felt the immense weight of loss, a moment that laid bare the human cost of tragedy that had rippled far beyond one family. Tributes quickly flooded social media, from close friends and fellow entertainers to fans who admired her from afar. Many revisited her early days as a cast member on Wild 'N Out. Others remember her entrepreneurial ventures, while some simply shared the ways Jacky had inspired them in their own personal lives. Even as messages of love poured in, questions about accountability surfaced. For an industry aware of the high risks associated with certain cosmetic procedures, why aren't stricter safety measures in place to protect patients? Online forums and advocacy groups seized on Jacky's story as a rallying point, calling for tougher regulations and more transparency around procedures like the Brazilian butt lift. Some pointed fingers at a system that, in the pursuit of profit, often overlooks patient safety. The public outrage went beyond mourning. It became a demand for answers, with many wondering whether Jacky's death exposed deep cracks in an industry more concerned with appearances and lives. The clinic where she underwent her surgery inevitably came under scrutiny. Was this tragedy purely the result of unfortunate medical complications, or did it reveal larger failures in the safeguards meant to protect patients like Jacky? As investigators examined her case, the public wrestled with difficult questions. How far should cosmetic surgery providers go in ensuring safety? And at what point does the pursuit of beauty cross into the territory of negligence? These were not abstract questions. They were rooted in the devastating reality of a young mother's life being cut short in her prime. The findings of Jacky's autopsy sparked even more debate. While some accepted the medical examiner's conclusions, Others push for a harder look at the risks associated with procedures like the BBL. Should patients be expected to accept such risks as part of their personal choice, or does the industry owe them stronger protections? The discourse wasn't limited to experts. Fans, advocates, and everyday people waiting online, revealing just how deeply her story resonated. For many, Jacky's passing was more than personal tragedy. It became a symbol of the price women pay when society sets impossible beauty standards. Tributes continue to pour in from across the entertainment industry. Nick Cannon, creator of Wild 'N Out, remembered her as far more than just a cast member. She wasn't just part of the show. She was family. Her energy lit up every room, and her legacy will live on through her children and through all of us who loved her, he said. Colleagues echoed his words, describing her as talented, warm, and driven, a woman who chased her dreams while remaining deeply devoted to her family. Actress and model Eva Marcel, heartbroken by the news, described her as an angel too good for this world. On social media, Jacky's fans kept her memory alive with personal reflections. Many shared how they had met her at events, how she spoke kindly to them, or how her openness about motherhood made them feel seen. One fan's Instagram tribute read, "She showed me I could be a boss, a mom, and still hold on to my confidence. She made it look possible." Hashtags like hashtag Rest in Power Jacky Oh and hashtag Forever Missed trended for days as timelines turned into memorials filled with photos, videos, and messages of love. The overwhelming outpouring reflected her wide reach, not just as a TV personality, but as someone who connected authentically with people who admired her. Her entrepreneurial spirit was another part of her legacy celebrated by fans. Jacky poured her creativity into the J Nova collection, a beauty line that became more than just a business. It was her way of empowering women to feel confident in their own skin. Many fans shared stories of how her products boosted their self-esteem, describing them as small but meaningful extensions of her vision. Beyond business, her greatest role was that of a mother. The love and devotion she poured into her 3 children was evident to everyone who knew her, and after her passing, messages of support for her kids and DC Young Fly flooded in from around the world. At the center of this story lies a haunting question. What price do we pay in the relentless pursuit of perfection? Jacky's death forces us to confront the darker side of beauty culture. In today's society, where social media amplifies ideals of flawless bodies and perfect proportions, women feel suffocated under impossible standards. Jacky was not alone. Millions of women wrestle daily with the pressure to mold themselves into an image deemed acceptable by others. Cosmetic surgery, especially high-risk procedures like the BBL, is often framed as a quick solution. But beneath the glamour, the reality is sobering. Studies show that the Brazilian butt lift carries one of the highest mortality rates in cosmetic surgery, with risks ranging from fat embolism to serious post-operative complications. Experts like Dr. Mark Moffat have long warned of these dangers, stressing that the stakes are literally life and death. In Jacky's case, her symptoms, the persistent headache, the burning sensation in her head, were tragic signals of how quickly a routine procedure can spiral into something catastrophic. Her story underscores the importance of informed decisions and the need for patients to understand the full weight of the risks before undergoing surgery. More importantly, it highlights society's role in shaping these pressures. How often do we pause to ask if these ideals are worth the toll they take on people's lives? Her passing has already ignited important conversations. Advocates are calling for stricter oversight within the cosmetic surgery industry, while others push for a cultural shift, one that celebrates diverse forms of beauty and encourages self-love over conformity. For many, Jacky's death is not just a warning, but a plea for change, a reminder that behind every statistic is a life, a family, and a community shattered by loss. Jacky Oh's legacy is layered. She was a mother, a partner, an entrepreneur, and a performer who touched lives in countless ways. Her story is a stark reminder of the dangers women face in the pursuit of societal beauty ideals, but is also a call to embrace authenticity, self-acceptance, and compassion. Will her death be the turning point that sparks real change, or will it be another cautionary tale lost in the cycle of headlines and hashtags? The answer lies in how we, as society, choose to respond. As we reflect on her journey, one question lingers. What role do we all play in perpetuating these impossible standards? And more importantly, what can be done to change them? Jacky's life, though tragically cut short, challenges us to reevaluate not just beauty culture, but the way we value ourselves and others. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love your support. It helps us keep bringing these true crime stories to you. Don't forget to check our well-curated playlist linked in the description, each one shedding light on the pain, impact, and lessons left behind.